Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where you are in the world. It's Tree Frog and Monarch. Hello, Monarch.
Hello.
We had some peeps saying hi already. We had little Herdas in here. And Kaja-san, who has an emote named after him.
Cute.
You want to see it? This is how you know that someone, that we love someone.
Perfect.
Sabotage. Who else do we have? Oh, we have Boktai in here. So fantastic. Good to see you all. This is Monarch. How you doing tonight?
Hello. Doing well. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. How are you?
Good. By the magic of the internet, I'm in Canada and Monarch is in Los Angeles. So
yeah.
It's exciting stuff. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about Monarch before we start. Monarch's a professional registered makeup artist in Los Angeles, a streamer, and an all-around fabulous human being. So let me tell you about meeting Monarch. I'll tell you guys a little bit about this because it was kind of funny. I met Monarch because we were both visitors in another streamer channel. And I was like, oh, he seems kind of nice. And I hopped into his channel and I'm like, oh, I am really intimidated. Like, I am really intimidated. This Monarch makeup is not a moniker. He's beautiful and well made up. And I was super intimidated. Then I started hanging around just a little bit. And I saw him being really positive with people. And I saw him like someone had posted in his Discord a special event photo. And he right away went to some strengths. Like, oh, that color lip looks really good on you. And he right away went into that. And so I was like, oh, okay. This is not someone who's there to cut people down or be mean or be difficult. This is someone who's there to really make people feel good about themselves. And it's part of your industry to make people feel good about themselves and look their best. But sometimes that part gets a little bit lost on a few people and it turns into only the beautiful people are allowed.
Oh, so, 100%. Yes.
So I was just so y'all know, if you're interested in checking out his channel, do it because you will find some positivity, a little sass, a little shade, but you'll find some real positivity and body positivity and all that stuff.
Just a little bit of shade, just a little bit.
Nothing a little bit.
Crazy.
Nothing.
Just a little bit.
Yes, exactly. So just to kind of, when I was talking to you about this, I've talked to you a little bit because I've been in your streams. And one of the things you guys need to know is that Monarch does makeup on stream. Usually Makeup Mondays, although Makeup Monday, when work happens, sometimes is Makeup Monday on a Wednesday. It's fine. I mean, there's no rules. It's Twitch.
It's true. It changes up. My work schedule, especially during COVID, was pretty much non-existent. So I was full-time streaming. So I was really able to have like that set schedule, like, Monday through Friday. And so I could have specific days allocated to doing makeup, going back to like freelance work. And then also like the retail aspect of working in cosmetics. I work on a rotating schedule and I can't always, but if people come my way and they're booking appointments to get their makeup done, I am not going to say no.
Yes.
So my stream schedule kind of reflects that, where it kind of goes on like a rotating schedule. So yes, definitely. Sometimes it's Makeup Monday, but we just do it on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
That's why we have our own channels, right? We get to make up our rules. But I have talked to you a little bit about the kind of work you've done and stuff, but actually talking to you a little bit more about it, kind of prepping for this, I was quite surprised by like the breadth and the depth of the work you've done. So this is what I gathered. There were lots of different types of makeup. There's the beauty, the glamour, the special effects, the on-screen looks, all those kind of things. But I'm curious, how long have you been in kind of the makeup industry?
Forever. That's like the running joke on the stream, where people are just like, oh my God, like, how old are you? Because I'll talk about things from like the early 90s or like the real late 80s. And people are like, wait a minute, like, and I'm like, it's smoke and mirrors, maybe a little bit of witchcraft here and there. I've actually, this year has put me in working in the world of cosmetics for 17 years. A long time. I'm old as dirt. My nickname is Methuselah.
Oh. What's older than dirt? That makes me like a fossil, dude. Yeah. So, I mean, I get that. And like, how did you get started? It's not always, it seems like there's a lot of different paths into your professional world.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there are a lot of different ways to get into the world of cosmetics, especially now. One of the biggest ways to get into cosmetics is social media. If you love makeup or you love cosmetics and you watch and see, all these like other beauty gurus and, other professional makeup artists, and I'll put this other professional makeup artists on, social media platforms doing makeup. And it's a passion of yours. Like, it's something that you really love and you want to invest time and effort into it. Go out, go buy some makeup and start making your own videos. See where it goes. There's actually a lot of people in the world of cosmetics now that really have no formal background or training when it comes to cosmetics or like esthetician work, that have become popular, famous, and made a career for themselves just simply off of social media. So that's one way that you could go about doing it. Like I just mentioned, going into more formal training. So there are cosmetology schools where you can get licensed to be a hairstylist, esthetician, and then they also train in general beauty. General beauty meaning like easy light skincare, general like makeup application, not so much technique. Like usually makeup schools, if you're going for like your cosmetology license, don't really get in depth with it. There are other specialty schools, especially like here in Los Angeles, that do go specifically into like in depth, and their school like syllabus is actually like broken down by like, are you looking for bridal makeup? Are you looking for everyday beauty? Are you looking for like Instagram glam makeup? Are you looking for special effects and like practical applications? So you could go that way. There's no real like estheticians or hairstylists, you actually have to be board certified. Depending on your state, they have different qualifications for it. You could get a certification to be a makeup artist or special effects artist, but there's no actual licensing you are required by the state or by law to have in order to do it. If you start going into esthetician work, obviously you should be licensed for it.
But you didn't take any of those ways, and that's not what your education was.
No, it's sure not. No, it's not. My personal education, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was in high school. I started off really young. I started doing makeup around like 17, 18 years old, in little baby Monarch when I was getting out of high school. I had friends that were going off to college, and I had some friends that were going to cosmetology school. I personally was planning on going to culinary school. Actually, cooking is also one of my hobbies that I really love and enjoy doing. So I actually got a scholarship to go to a school and become a chef. Unfortunately, life gets in the way and things happen, so I couldn't take that route. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So while I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, like most kids, I was just going to college for my general education. I was just like, we'll just get our associate's degree in general, whatever, I don't know, anything and everything. And then I'll kind of just figure it out from there. And that's really kind of what I did. And I had a few friends that did go to cosmetology school. And after they finished, started working in makeup and hair. And because I live in Los Angeles, they started making connections with people. They started working with other college students on like independent films, doing like little photo shoots, working with cosmetic companies that were doing like branding photo shoots and things like that. And I had a knack for it and I liked it. So I had a friend of mine who was just like, well, why don't you come down with me? I need an assistant for the day. Like you could totally come and help me out. So I was like, okay. And she was definitely more driven towards the special effects side. So she wasn't really doing a whole lot of like glamour or beauty. She was building monsters, which is what I really wanted to do, being that like emo goth kid in high school. And I was just like, yeah, of course I want to make monsters. Like, who doesn't want to do that? It's awesome. That sounds so much fun. I get to fill a room with blood and splatter it all over the place, and make all kinds of horror. And I was like, yeah, that's totally up my alley. That's exactly what I want to do. And that's what I did. So I started helping her, and then just going from there, and then just kind of building a name for myself. And in the world of cosmetics, we always joke, it's such a huge wide variety of things that you can do, but at some point in time, you're going to be able to work with somebody who you worked with, who also went to school with somebody that you know, who knows somebody that you've also worked with. And it's funny, no matter where I've worked or what job I've been at, I've been able to find at least one person that we had a common familiar link with, where I was like, oh yeah, I worked on this and I did that with this person. And they're like, oh, shut up. Like, I used to work with them. And it's just, oh, what a small world. So in the world of cosmetics, it is definitely by word of mouth. Like, we all talk and know each other.
Of Monarch makeup. That's what I just heard.
That is the joke. That is the joke, where it's just, you always got to be on your best behavior and watch your P's and Q's, because you don't want to burn too many bridges or make too many enemies, because at some point in time, you're going to go for a job. And that person that doesn't like you might be the person trying to give you that job.
Or they heard something.
Or they heard something from somebody. So stay friends. Stay friends with everybody.
So the diva behavior is strictly for YouTubers.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And I've personally never done it. I'm not famous. I'm not that popular. So I've never been invited to like those like social media workshops that they do with like, the really popular like influencers, where they go and they like meet up and hang out and get to like actually physically meet one another and like collaborate on stuff like that. I've never personally been invited to any of those things. But I've had some friends that have quite large social media followings. And the horror stories that I hear from those, just how mean people can be. And I'm just like, wow, I don't know if I ever want to do any of those. Like, I don't know if that's me.
Yeah.
I'll go and I'll be that kid in the back where I'm just like, oh, no, I'm cool. I don't want to just hang out over here by myself.
I'll just mama tree frog them. I'll be like, honey, what's going on today? That's how I do half my modding in Twitch, right? Sweetie, what's going on today? You seem really upset, or you seem out of sorts. You're being mean to people, and people are like, I'm sorry, tree frog, and they get on with their lives.
There's no reason. You know what I mean? Life's too short. There's no reason for that. We don't need any of that.
Absolutely. So currently, you're employed by a boutique store in Los Angeles, or in greater Los Angeles. And you're also a freelancer, right? And you're also a streamer. Let's not minimize those. But how common is that kind of multi-pronged approach to your industry?
I feel like it's pretty common for the most part. It's as an artist, it's really difficult. Even if you're really, really good and you're constantly getting booked freelance and you're not relying on a paycheck working for somebody else. And it's, I'm great at word of mouth. People love the work that I do. I'm booking photo shoots all the time. I can say that I'm a published artist and I have my name like in magazines or in movies. And I'm able to network and make a steady living. There's always a dry spell at some point in time throughout the year. And that's always like terrifying for an artist, where it's just like, oh God, like, I got to make sure that I have money saved aside, so I have everything taken care of and I'm not super freaked out about it. So a lot of us, yes, a lot of makeup artists do, whether it's retail or working behind the scenes for a cosmetics company, labeling, literally manufacturing, packaging, shipping, warehouse work, or even, in my case, like working boutique. Technically, it's still like retail, but definitely a different kind of experience working like boutique cosmetics versus working at like a department store.
So you're not at the mall with the bubble gum. And yeah, I know.
No, nothing wrong with that. As a freelance artist, some of the cosmetic companies that I work for, like if you ever go to a department store and you see like like a DJ and there's like music going in like the cosmetics department, and they have like all the makeup chairs set out, and you see all the people standing there, doing free demos and, just like having a little party and stuff like that, inviting people to come in. Like I do those also. So like, that's part of it. It's going in and just offering my skills as a makeup artist to help represent the brand.
Absolutely.
The nice thing about that is like, I'm going as a freelance artist. So I'm literally not trying to sell you anything. I'm just there to do makeup.
That's fantastic. So what kind of looks do you typically do at the boutique store at this
It can vary. Obviously, with like the retail side of it, we always try to push for like a teaching learning experience. We book appointments also for people to come in to, like I'm going to a special event or I have a wedding, a birthday, something, and I literally just want to come in to get my makeup done, which is totally fine. We do try to encourage people to come in like when they book appointments, and it's not just the store that I particularly work at. Other companies that I've worked for really try to put an emphasis on that. If you're booking an appointment for a client to come in, make sure you're getting the understanding of what kind of appointment it is. Are you literally just doing their makeup, or are they coming in because they want to learn? Make sure that you're set up for those particular instances. But we really try to put an emphasis on like, I'm going to be doing it, but like here's a mirror in your hand and I'm going to be doing makeup, but I want you to watch what I'm doing so you can have the confidence to go and recreate that look whenever it suits your needs and you need to have that special makeup.
Yeah, fantastic. If someone was new, like to cosmetics, they walk in, and they're like, I've never put makeup on my face before. What would you suggest they invest in first?
That's actually very common. That happens all the time. That's literally like a daily thing. Somebody coming in and it's just, I've never done makeup and what do I do? And it's always just like, that is that is a broad question. And it's like, okay, that is my job as a professional makeup artist. To give you advice and to teach you, it always comes down to asking open-ended questions. Open-ended questions being, what is it like? What kind of looks are you trying to create? What is your inspiration? Do you have any issues with your skin? Are you trying to fix or correct something? Are you trying to just enhance your natural beauty? Getting a feel for what it is that they want and what they want to achieve in their makeup. And then going from there. And then again, depending on those answers, delving a little bit deeper into those and then specifically finding out, like what it is that you need. As a lot of the times, somebody comes in and they're just like, well, I watched this video or this is my favorite influencer and I see them doing all of this crazy stuff, and I don't want to spend like $200 or $300 on makeup. And it's like, oh, that's fine. Like if you are just starting out, like let's get you the basics first. Let's get you there. Let's get you comfortable with that. Then you can move into doing more like artistry style stuff. You're going to get crazy overwhelmed right at the front. And then I want to get you frustrated. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be fun. Makeup is supposed to be fun. It's an expression of yourself and your artistry and how you see yourself and what you want to do. So I don't ever want anybody to feel like defeated. That's always the worst.
Absolutely. So there's a wide range of prices in cosmetics and makeup. If you were to suggest someone who's trying to save some money but still has a little bit, what are the splurges? What should people splurge on for sure? Where should they maximize their budget?
Tools. When it comes to tools, make sure you have good quality tools. By tools, I mean makeup brushes. Make sure you have good, decent quality makeup brushes because that will save you a lot of time and a lot of effort. Does that mean that you need to go out and go buy the most expensive designer makeup brushes you could possibly find? No.
I have to tell you guys, so last year about this time I received a package. At the time, Monarch was living in Hollywood, and so it came from Hollywood and made me feel super glamorous. I only say that now because I know you've moved, so people aren't going to be stalking you. And you sent me, I won on his stream, just so y'all know, you should go follow him because I won on his stream some makeup brushes. And actually, I grabbed the palette. I didn't grab the makeup brushes. That's interesting. And I had never had decent ones before. I actually didn't grab them because they're dirty and I didn't want you to see them. But it changed how I think about it. Things stay put better. They move better when I want them to. Yes. I'm sure it's a combination between the brushes and actually the quality palette, because I've never bought anything remotely, and I know this is not the most expensive palette in the world, but I know it's also not like grocery store brand. I'm not that bad, but really. So I can totally understand. I hear what you're saying, and I wouldn't have probably a year ago, but really listen to him, get some good brushes.
It really does. It really does help you, and I feel like that's usually one of the biggest issues that people have. If you are a baby beginner and are really just like dipping your toes into the water, don't worry about buying expensive brushes. Like you really don't have to. Go buy something that is definitely affordable, something that you don't mind ruining, just because cleaning is really difficult. The right kind of products to clean your brushes is also extremely important. And those aren't necessarily the cheapest items in the world. They're not going to cost you an arm and a leg. But a good brush cleaner is going to cost you anywhere from $10 to $30 for a good brush cleaner. And, a lot of people are just, I just use like regular dish soap. Okay, yes, and I've talked about that on stream before too. You can use just regular antibacterial soap. That's totally fine. But most brush cleaners are actually made with a built-in moisturizer that keep your brushes soft, malleable, and the right consistency in order to pick up makeup and to blend and to put makeup down the correct way. And most people use the wrong kind of cleaning agents to clean their brushes, which makes them brittle. You'll start noticing like the little hairs falling out of your brush because the glue is getting eaten away at. You'll notice, do I even have one at the moment? I might have one. I have I don't know if you guys can see it, but like older brushes where it's like the hilt kind of just like the glue starts to go away. Like it just happens. It's an old brush and the glue starts to get eaten away at. So they start to like wobble and break. But if you're not taking care of your brushes the right way, then they're not going to work for you the way that you want them to. And that's also another really big one that people come in. I always stop and ask them, I can never get my foundation to blend the right way. Okay, well, what kind of brush are you using? This is the brand that I'm using. And I'm just like, it's actually a pretty decent brand brush. Like I've had experience with that. Like you shouldn't really be running into too many issues, even as a beginner. And then that's when I'm just, well, what do you do when you clean your brush? And then they tell me, and I'm just like, no.
Don't do
that. Yeah, don't do that. That's probably why. And that's why you're getting frustrated. And it's just like, okay, let me teach you how to clean your brush the right way. And then I usually don't see that person come back for, months at a time. And they're just like, everything is fixed now and I don't have a problem. And I'm just like, cool.
Yeah. So get good brushes. Any specific products for, we'll move on soon, but just that are really invest in something here.
Yeah, I did notice in chat, somebody was saying, they used to wear MAC all the time. MAC is fantastic makeup. I know a lot of people are just like, sometimes their price point's a little on the expensive side. There are some drugstore brands out there that have really stepped up over the last decade in their quality of products. So if you're just learning, you don't need the most expensive, amazing makeup in the world to give you a decent look, I use them here on stream a lot for, just on camera, something quick and easy, especially because a lot of us are still telecommuting for work. So you don't have to be 100% perfect over the camera. You can maybe have a little patches or a little fine line showing here and there, and nobody's going to notice. But e.l.f. makeup, you could get that at almost any drugstore. They have pretty decent coverage when it comes to foundation. It's actually the foundation that I have on right now, which works perfect for camera. Is it my favorite when it's face-to-face meeting somebody? No, probably not. Can I make it work? Yeah, for sure. I can totally make it work and it's fine. But, again, I'm bougie and I have a little bit more experience when it comes to it. So I'm just like, it's not my favorite, but it'll do. It'll do. I can make it work. But yeah, there's plenty of drugstore brands out there. Maybelline is fantastic. Elf Cosmetics has really stepped up their game. I know for like our UK babes, Revolution Beauty is extremely popular and is also a very decent brand. You could get a lot of stuff with that. BH Cosmetics, United States and UK friendly, where they ship to both. Also very, very affordable price point. I use a lot of their products here on stream as well. I am not sponsored by any of those cosmetic brands, just to throw that out there.
We should have said
that. It's not a sponsored stream. I'm not sponsored by any cosmetics brand. So if I do throw a name out there at you, it's just a personal opinion of mine. It's not a paid promotion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Would you recommend that pretty much everyone on camera invest in some foundation and skincare kind of stuff? I see streamers sometimes. I'm pretty, as you all know, not the biggest makeup wearer ever, but since talking to Monarch, he did help me pick out a few things. Well, he helped me know what to ask the person when I walked into the store, and had a few ideas, and so even out some things. But do you ever watch streams and go, gee, I just wish they'd just like get rid of that little shine? Or
yes. And I feel so rude. I should have complimented you earlier. Your skin looks fantastic. Your brows look fantastic. You've got a little bit of lip color on, and I love it. Like, you look fantastic. And that's perfect for just every day. Like even the makeup that I have on right now. I have a full face of makeup on, but it doesn't have to be caked on makeup. And that's also something that I try to bring to my stream when I'm teaching and educating, and showing people how to apply makeup. Just because you see me cake on a ton of makeup and concealer under my eye, the placement is what you should be paying attention to, not the quantity of makeup that I'm applying to my face. Especially if you're going for like everyday face-to-face makeup, you do not need that much makeup. It looks beautiful on camera, and it looks fantastic when you're photographing it. But that's also my background when it comes to working in the world of cosmetics. I started in film and photography before going into like everyday beauty makeup. So I know what translates onto camera really well, and I can, trick the lighting and fool everything. So everybody's just like, wow, like you have like flawless satin looking skin and everything is great. And I'm just like, yeah, if you were to see me in real life, I look like a clown.
Well, and I was talking about that. It kind of reminds me of that idea about performance makeup, right? What do people wear on stage? What do they wear? Is very different when you're actually up close with someone. You're like, whoa, oh, that's a lot. So we're actually going to look at I think some of these were from streams actually. And this is the whole, like, probably not a good idea to go to a business meeting like this, but a lot of fun on stream. I will tell you guys, one time I asked Monarch to I was like, Monarch, can you start from the bottom? Like, I feel like I'm asking Beyonce to sing Twinkle Twinkle, but can you just start at really basic face? And he's like, sure, I can. I actually went back and watched that VOD one time. But so he will do it for you on stream. He really will. But often we end up with something. I'm gonna switch over. Something more like that. Something a little more intense.
It's actually one of my favorite looks. It's one of my more recent looks. I did that one probably just a few weeks ago. And that's actually one of my favorites. I'm not wearing contacts in that photo. The way the light hit my eyes and my lashes when I took that picture blacked out my eyes. And I was like, I love it. It's perfect. I was like, I couldn't have asked for anything else. That is not Photoshop. That is actually how the makeup looks.
Yes. And there's been a bit of a stylized look around the lips too these days to give them that real illusion of a serious shine.
Yes, 100%. And that's also something that I try to bring into the stream as well. So my particular take on doing makeup is more of a tutorial, but not a tutorial from somebody who is just a makeup enthusiast. With my years of experience working on and off camera and actually working for cosmetic brands and going to school for cosmetics from those brands and learning techniques and the proper way to do skincare and the proper way to apply makeup for photos like this one, or for everyday, kind of like what you're seeing right now. Just really light, simple makeup, nothing super crazy, just a little bit of color in the brow, and then like something to kind of brighten up the lips so I don't wash out all of my color. Versus, you know, the picture that you see right there, where it's just, well, that's a lot of makeup. That is a lot of makeup.
It does look fabulous. I've seen it. It does. Chat.
Really do love that one. Actually, when I was doing that one in particular, when I was getting to the lips and I was putting the lips on, we did have somebody in chat that was just like, oh, like, I really like that lip color. And very faintly around the outside of the lips, actually took black body paint and with a very, very, very fine, thin brush, went and outlined around the lipstick with the black to make the lips look even bigger, fuller, and poutier. And then going in with a white body paint and then doing those accents on the overdrawn lip to give it that fake shine. And somebody even commented, and they were like, the lipstick looked fantastic before, but like you did those little accents around it and it made it pop to the point where it looks photoshopped, but without you having to do any Photoshop. And it was exactly the point that I was trying to make to chat, where I was like, this is like Instagram beauty glam makeup. Like, I would never wear this. I mean, unless I'm going to like a drag con or a drag convention, or I'm going to like a drag bar or doing something for like a special event, I would never wear that in everyday life. It photographs beautifully and it films fantastic, but
you were not picking up the dry cleaning in this?
No. It's just a little chapstick. I'm just wearing a little chapstick just to, gotta run to the grocery store, just throw on something real quick.
So it almost seems like an earlier version of that look.
Yeah, so that one was done probably like 6 months before, maybe a little bit longer. This one in particular was kind of a redo of a look that I did probably like 3 years ago, when I first like really started actually posting my makeup, my own like makeup on myself that I've done myself on social media. And it's funny, most of those pictures you can't find anymore. So if you try to go and scroll through all of my Instagram photos, most of those have been taken down because they were just terrible. It's not that my technique was bad. I was so used to doing makeup on other people. When I would get asked to do looks like this, I could transform people to have these kind of looks, or doing drag for somebody, for a friend. I could achieve these looks and it would look as full and fantastic and as colorful as this. I wasn't used to doing makeup on myself this bold or this loud. So when I first started doing my own face for social media, like I really thought I was going for it. Like I thought I was doing like big, bold, beautiful lips and really bright eyeshadows and big, bold, intense colors. Then just over the years, I got more comfortable doing my own makeup, where I was just, there is a definite glow up where you can look at what I thought was, bold and crazy makeup on myself versus, this now where it's just now I'm really going.
The next photo I think was earlier.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one too. That one's really cute.
Is that an earlier look?
Yes. So that was the Halloween look from a couple of years ago. That one is specifically meant to be more on the androgynous side. A lot of feminine characteristics, but also really masculine at the same time, which is something that I love to bring to my personal style. Get that asked a lot, like, are you a drag performer? I usually end up answering that with a no, because I don't do the wigs. I don't always wear female clothing. If I do, it's like something more feminine as a top, but not necessarily like woman's clothing top. And I try to blur those lines between makeup, what's masculine and what's feminine, and I want both of those combined together. this particular look was for Halloween, and I took the inspiration from 101 Dalmatians. So this was my androgynous Cruella de Vil look.
Fantastic.
I was like, okay, what would Cruella look like if they were alive now, like in modern times? And I was like, Cruella would definitely have more eyeshadow, the brow, like a really sharp, angular brow, a face tattoo, dressed more modern and mod, like a nice dress shirt with a vest, and then obviously the white hair to go with it. But yeah, like it was definitely more of a gender bend for Cruella de Vil.
Fantastic. And then this was a fairly recent one too on stream. I think I saw this stream.
Yeah, that one wasn't too long ago. That was probably just a few months ago. That one in particular, I think I got a request for that one, where it was like, I want something that's a little bit more stepped up in an everyday look, like not too much on the drag side, but something where like if I'm going like somewhere like really important for work and I really wanted to pick it up, like what could I do? So I was just like, okay, like let's do a little bit like bolder in the color of the eye, but instead of blowing the shadow all the way out or having to like, glue down my eyebrows and draw on brand new ones, we'll keep it pretty symmetrical with my natural facial features, but just kind of elevate it a little bit color-wise. And this one, especially working in the world of cosmetics, like this would be a pretty typical look for somebody, if you were to walk into a cosmetic store. I would not be surprised seeing somebody with this amount of makeup or this kind of look on. Maybe the lips are pretty big and overdrawn, but the eyeshadow and the brows, foundation, contour, no, like that's actually a pretty common look.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, I'm gonna take us off there for a little bit. And so we were talking about kind of the boldness of them and stuff. And I wanted to ask you, this is a question I've always wanted to know. Okay, so I watch Drag Race sometimes and we watch and you just like gluing down the brows. Is there you see glue stick, you see full on like school glue stick. Is that the standard? Is that the gold standard even? Is there a product or do people... Yep, there you go.
That is the standard. That's just a purple glue stick. We usually use purple because the purple one goes on purple, and then when it dries clear, so you know that it's dry. But yeah, it's pretty basic standard. There's some other professional types of glue that you can use. There's just more steps that go into it. I usually don't specifically name the brands of glue that you can use because they are professional based glue. And if you're not using them the right way and you don't have a background in professional cosmetology, you can seriously hurt yourself. So I usually avoid like when people are like, oh, well, what kind of glue is it? It's available for you to purchase and you don't need to have a cosmetology license to buy it. Like you could find stores that do sell it, but I try to avoid telling people what exactly products they are just because it's a step in a process in order to do it. And you're going to rip all your hair off trying to remove the glue. If you don't take the right steps and processes for it, it's going to work like a wax and you're going to end up waxing your brows off. So I'm just, there are other products that you can use. You don't need to worry about them.
That is fantastic. I've just always been curious about that. We see them like, really? Is that really what people still use? Anyway, so if it's all right with you, we'll take a quick break, chat. When we get back, we're going to talk to Monarch a little bit about kind of the movie, TV industry, the stream industry that exists in LA, and a little bit about special effects and that kind of stuff. So you're not going to want to miss that for sure. And we'll take just like a 5-minute break and we'll come back. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So like on the retail side of it, like working freelance for cosmetic companies, it's definitely interesting being in Los Angeles because we actually have to prepare for award ceremonies. So, you know, Emmys, the Oscars, whenever those events are happening, committees that run those special events actually reach out to cosmetic companies, Mac included, because a lot of them are sponsored by Mac. But they reach out to cosmetic companies to bring in makeup artists to be sponsored by, you know, whatever, you know, whoever's financing it that year. But they bring us in, they hire us sometimes, and sometimes some of the companies that we work for or freelance for, you know, will reach out to us and they'll be like, hey, they need, you know, a certain amount of people to run backstage for, you know, the Oscars. Can you do red carpet event? It's just like, yeah, it's totally cool. And just doing backstage, making sure you're touching up celebrities, you know, making sure nobody's too shiny, or, you know, if their lipstick's wearing off, got to make sure you touch up their lipstick for them real quick, which is a ton of fun. Working conventions, working Comic-Con. I have a few friends that work as vendors for Comic-Con, which is super amazing. I also have a friend who is on the planning and event committee for Comic-Con. So doing backstage for stuff like that when they do their runways or their fashion shows. Yeah, they do fashion shows at Comic-Con. Their cosplay events. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But I do a lot of that. And I think the last year before COVID, they were doing their cosplay event. They actually had a lot of the RuPaul Drag Race girls that were judges on the for the fashion show. Didn't have to do any of the drag queens makeup, but making sure that, you know, everybody that's competing, you know, make the same thing, making sure that, you know, their makeup is ready to go, their stage ready, their camera ready, and, you know, making sure that all of that is set up. So there's a lot of work that goes into it, which is fantastic. I always get really nervous. Like if I'm doing it from start to finish, then that's fine because that's, you know, it's my work. It's fine. I know how to touch it up if I have to. Yeah, but if somebody's already got like a full face painted and they're just like, "Can you just touch this up for me?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I don't want to mess it up." They have their own special. Oh, like no, I can try and replicate it as much as possible, but it's never going to be like exactly the same. There's going to be slight differences with it, and it's just that's their craft. You know what I mean? Like that is their job. That is their face. That is what sells. And yeah, they have that down to a science. It's funny because you talk to other artists, and it's just like, oh well, like what's your prep technique? Like what do you do first? And you'll see like everybody doing something totally different and possibly even something that contradicts what you've heard in the beauty industry of like, oh, that's like a faux pas. You should never do that. And it's just, well, that's how they do their makeup and that works for them and they look fantastic. So it is what it is.
Pretty sure we were muted. Pretty sure.
It's never, it's never a stream. It's never a stream unless you come back from break and you are totally muted.
The good news is you weren't. So I mean, the good news about that is they didn't hear what I was saying. I was asking about drag queens and after, but yeah, I think that would be dangerous. But I didn't know that. I mean, I guess it makes sense that they have people to be touching up makeup and doing those kind of things. It just is an interesting thing that you never really think about. I guess you just always think on those things. People just always look perfect somehow magically. And the magic is actually makeup artists.
That's true. That is very true. And it's funny. husbando and I kind of like joke about it because especially now, like in Los Angeles, the way that it works, like with makeup artists and like studio work, they kind of rotate makeup artists out. So instead of having like a full team of makeup artists to get everybody set ready, different studios have different guidelines that they're following for it. Some studios do like rotating. So it's like, I'm going to have like these 3 makeup artists work on these particular shows for, this next month straight. And then we're going to pull them out and then we're going to rotate in a couple of other artists. And they're the only ones that can touch the crew. They're the only ones that are allowed to be here. It used to be, like I would go in with my makeup kit and with all of my sanitizing tools and everything to make sure that everything was clean. But, like if I'm using this foundation brush, obviously I would clean it and sanitize it before going in with somebody else. But, I could use the same tool on multiple different artists or multiple different actors. Especially now with COVID, it's like everybody needs to have their own makeup kit. It's a lot. Like I already have a ton of brushes in my arsenal to begin with, and I'm just like, well, now I need to like double or triple that, and I just have so many brushes.
Prepping for this, y'all, so Monarch, you do your makeup mostly at the desk you're sitting at right now, right? Not just for streams. And I told him that I imagined that he was like surrounded by like towers of palettes, and he pulled out a stack about like 2 feet, 3 feet high of palettes. So if you need more, that's just a scary thing. And I understand the pandemic. I mean, it's one of those things where the things that are happening, less things are happening. And when they are happening, they need to be more careful with them, right? So I get that.
For sure.
I think I saw a meme on your channel, maybe with someone like with extended brushes and they're trying to do makeup from like 6 feet away or something. Like,
yeah, that's about right. Where you're just like, as far away as possible.
You're fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I do have some friends that work studio as well. And one of them was telling me that the makeup artists are actually on set working as consultants. So they're not doing anybody's makeup. They brought them in and then they sat down with all of the actors and then they kind of did, with social distancing, stay 6 feet away, but they kind of set them up. So it was like, you're going to be sitting here at one table and then you're going to be sitting there at another table. And I am going to show you on myself how I do your makeup. And you're going to sit here and practice and learn. So when you need to be camera ready, you're going to be in your dressing room doing your own makeup. And then when you are being called on set, if you mess anything up, I'm here to kind of just go and fix it a little bit. Yeah, so it just depends. Like different studios are running different rules for different people. So it's a lot. It's crazy. I personally, since COVID has happened, haven't taken any like studio or freelance work. I've just been doing like more freelance on the retail side of it. But other than that, I don't know. It's kind of scary. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is. It's an unusual thing. I think you sent over some photos of some of the photo shoots you've done in the past. Can we have a look at them?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, of course.
Let's go see what we can find. Let's see if... Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's one of my absolute favorites. There's a funny story to go along with that one as well. So this is a photo shoot that I did for a modeling agency. The modeling agency is called Ghoul Girls, and they're an independent modeling agency that pick up alternative models. And we were looking to do something for this one was actually for October, so it was for Halloween. And we wanted to do a sugar skull. We ethnically sourced our model for it. So she is of Latin Spanish descent. So we are not appropriating any cultures. I myself am also Hispanic. So this one was really special for me because it's part of my background and it's part of my heritage growing up. Dia de los Muertos was always so much fun. It was always so interesting to me. Like I absolutely loved it. So I wanted to do something different. So when I sat down with the creative director, were talking about it, and I was like, what if I did a sugar skull? Instead of just painting a skeleton on her, what if I did it using actual candy? So none of this is, the only makeup that she has is around the eyes, the white face. Everything else that's accented on her face is actual candy that has been affixed to her face. It came out fantastic.
Wow.
It's not photoshopped at all. That is legitimately just how the work turned out, and it was one of my favorites. This is one of the only images of my work that has been stolen.
Right.
This particular image was stolen by, I won't say their name, but an extremely well-known company that is a household name that everybody knows.
And what kind of company?
They stole this image to use and run their advertisements for Photoshop. They didn't change the image. They didn't. All they did was they cropped the photo to remove the watermark from the bottom that had my name and the company that it was published through. They removed their watermark, and they took this exact image and said, "Buy our Photoshop software and achieve these type of looks using Photoshop." And I was just like,
"No."
I was so mad. I was so mad because I was just like, it's not Photoshop. That's art. That's artistry. I was like, how dare you?
And then this one. Little Chucky inspired.
Little Chucky inspired. That one is actually I should point this out. That one is actually a sponsored photo. That one is sponsored by Spirit Halloween. We got reached out by them to do an inspired look for their Halloween costumes. They gave us liberties to do the designs and change whatever we needed to, as long as we used the base of one of their costumes. So this is an actual costume that you can purchase at Spirit Halloween during the Halloween season. Some of you may recognize that model. Some of you may not. She is quite well known and popular. That is Tracy Heinz. She's known as the official Disney princess. She does a lot of cosplay as Ariel, and she actually does a lot of cosplay that is sponsored by Disney as Ariel. She doesn't work for Disney, but they do.
They know a good thing when they see it.
Yes, they do bring her on board quite a bit. I get to work with some pretty cool people, and I get to do some pretty cool stuff. So yeah, I know Tracy Heinz, and I got to do her makeup. She's a fantastic girl. I had a lot of fun doing this one with her because she's an official Disney princess. She doesn't really get to do horror a whole lot, and she is a spooky queen. Like, she is a spooky girl, and it was a lot of fun. Like, this was a lot of fun for her, and it was a lot of fun for me just because she got to do something that was like really cool for her. She loves horror movies, and she loves all the spooky side of everything. So doing something like this was actually super cool. Same thing. The staples that are holding the stitches together. So practical effects, where I actually went in with latex and scar wax and I created those. And then filling them in with fake blood. And the staples are actual staples, like industrial style staples that you use in carpentry work. Very safely was able to cut and affix them to her face. So that one is definitely more on the practical side, where it is actual special effects, and it's not just face paint painted on.
Yes. We're going to get to some special effects ones coming up. I think you told me this was for a photo shoot too, but I can't remember. This was your profile pic for a while, I think.
This was my profile picture for a while.
I asked you about it.
This one was really fun. For those of you who may be familiar with my stream, there is one of our friends, and she's also a mod as well, and a fellow streamer, Vampire Kitten. She streams here on Twitch. She does variety streaming in the sense that she does makeup as well. She also does cosplay streams sometimes. She does role play streams, and then she does arts and crafts streams. And on her arts and crafts streams, she actually makes candles that she sells on Etsy, and she does other home goods as well. So one of the candles that she was releasing during Christmas is called Krampus. So we wanted to do a Krampus inspired photo shoot. So when we did her holiday spread, that was going to be like her e-newsletter that was going to be emailed out to everybody. There's I don't think I sent it to you, but there's a photo of me and her actually together. So I did my makeup and then I got to do her makeup. So she was like the female Krampus, and this is like my interpretation of like a human cross between of Krampus. So this was like our little like Christmas special, and then it also got to be used as her advertisement for her candles that she launched.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, Photoshop or some version of it, anything in there?
The only thing that is photoshopped in this photo are my eyes. Right. It's really difficult for me. I can wear them. Oh, it is so painful for me to wear the larger blacked out lenses. I suffer from like really, really severe allergies, and my eyes are consistently dry all the time. When I wear contacts, even when I wear the blacked out contacts like that, which are really huge, my eyes are so dry that the contact always rolls to the back. It's dangerous that it makes it really, really, really painful to remove the contact because I have to kind of flush the contact out of my eye, which ends up ruining everything. So for some of my photos, I am actually wearing contacts, but for this one in particular, that's the only thing that is photoshopped. It's the eyes. Everything else is practical. And the horns are actual practical effects as well. I still have them. But Vampire Kitten makes those. She actually makes those by hand.
Wow. And so you had them. All right. And then we get into some definite special effects stuff. Some stuff that I identified. I did want to ask you a little bit, and these two conversations, I don't know what order we want to have them in, but a little bit about some of the kind of movie stuff that you've done. I know you've done a few and been involved in them. You were telling me about Cabin in the Woods, which is a Josh Wheaton film from not too long ago. But that wasn't special effects you were involved in, right? That was more of the beauty side, or am I wrong?
It was more on the beauty side, a little bit of special effects. So for that one in particular, I felt so lucky that I got to do that. I didn't actually get to meet Joss Whedon, which would have been super, super cool. But I got to work on the promotion videos that they were shooting for Cabin in the Woods. And then I also got to do their promo at the end of the movie. If you bought the actual DVD, there were like behind the scenes like promo stuff. So I got to do all of like the behind the scenes promo stuff that the actors got to do, which was super cool. And then I also got to do the teaser trailer for Cabin in the Woods, which was super cool. So like a lot of the social media stuff and like the buzz that was happening, like when the movie was being announced, I got to work on some of that stuff, which was super cool. So I loved all of that. And this one in particular, I don't think this was even a Halloween look. I just like doing spooky stuff. It was just a random.
And this is you, right?
100% me. That is 100% me. That one is a foam latex. So that one's not silicone. That one's foam latex. And it's a half a face application. So it comes down onto the bridge of my nose and then kind of forms around my cheekbones right here. So from the forehead down to my cheeks. Mm-hmm. And this is all natural. That's just kind of chiseled and painted out with makeup. But and then the actual horns were also sponsored from Spirit Halloween. So those are horns that you can buy at Spirit Halloween. But I got those and then applied them to the foam latex and then took scar wax and kind of built it up so it looks like they're actually protruding out of the skin. And then went and kind of blended everything out with the makeup. It was a lot of fun. I really liked doing that one.
Yeah. The foam latex, is that a product that, like, is that a piece that you buy? Or
This one in particular is one that I did buy. I did purchase this one. I am a registered makeup artist, meaning I have the access and availability to shop at professional stores because I do have the proper credits for it. Proper credits meaning because I have worked on actual major motion pictures, and I have worked on television, and I've worked on other products that are considered like higher end. And I actually have credits for them. So I have IMDb credits for it, and I've worked on those. So there's a certain level with makeup artists. Once you get to that level and you actually get like credits, you get like actual acting and makeup artistry credits, become like a registered makeup artist.
There's a secret club.
There is.
Where you get cool stuff. All right. So, and part of the I mean, just having, I just don't watch your stream. I watch people do all this kind of stuff. I think it's amazing. There's this technique to this. You can't slap it on your face and hope it looks good.
No. So because this one in particular, so there's two options. You can either have something that is custom made for you. Again, working in my industry, there are stores that you can go to. There are places that you could go to. Again, they don't normally work with like the general public. Like you have to be a registered or licensed makeup artist in order to book an appointment with them. But you can go in and they'll do a plaster mold of your face, and then they basically give you a negative. If you're skilled enough, you could take that negative and then you can build your own foam or your own latex or your own silicone, and you can make whatever you want. And then there's also professional stores that sell prefabricated, and then it's kind of a one size fits all because it's like a bigger sheet, like whatever it is, it's a bigger sheet, but then you actually have to cut it and form it and fit it to your face. There are special types of glue that you need to use for it. There's special types of makeup remover that you have to do with this, especially because reds, purples, pinks tend to like stain the skin. So there are definitely like procedures that you should do and steps that you should take in order to not damage your skin, especially when it comes to glues. Even if you're using something that you can get at like a normal Halloween store using like spirit gum, anything like that, there are special removers to take those off of your skin. I always highly encourage people to buy those removers because it will leave residual glue stuck to your skin. It's just not healthy because your skin's going to eat away at that and absorb all of those products. You don't need all those chemicals on your skin. Like you don't need it.
Or you look red like me every day.
Listen, we call that being a little flush or having like a nice rosy undertone.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I personally also have, you can kind of see it here in my neck. I have that rosier undertone naturally. I tend to be more on the pink side, but I'm also really yellow at the same time. I have both. I'm really yellow and I'm also really pink. But subconsciously, people associate rosy undertones with happiness and love. So subconsciously, when people see you, think that you're a really happy person. People
are like, oh, you don't wear red or pink, and I'm like, no, I look like a tomato. I'm pink enough. Like, I mean, even this behind me, I don't know if that works, but it's my favorite wall in my whole house, and this is how my desk is set up for work. So that's just life. But I get that. Let's see what's next. Oh yes, things get spooky.
Oh yeah. That one I did. And that one kind of takes. That one doesn't scare me by any means. I think I could push the. I kind of want to redo that one at some point because I think I feel like I could push the envelope with that one a little bit further without having to censor the photo. I'm a huge horror fan. I love horror. And I don't know, there's something, sounds crazy, but there's something about like blasphemy in horror movies that like always really draw my attention. And it's probably my upbringing because I came from a really religious household. So when I see horror movies that have anything to do with like a religious base to it, I always find it really fascinating and I really love it. This look I did within the first year that I first started streaming. And this one actually gained a lot of attention. gained a lot of negative attention and it gained a lot of positive attention. At the time when I was streaming, I think there's a few other streamers that do it now, but at the time when I was streaming on Twitch, I was the only makeup artist who was doing practical effects, who was doing special and practical effects. We had makeup artists. There were a couple of drag queens, like literally a couple, like there were like 2 drag queens on Twitch at the time. There were a handful of body painters, literally like a handful, like there were maybe like 5 or 6 body painters that were on Twitch. I was the only one that was doing practical effects. So I did get a pretty big, wide response from that one. And it was pretty cool because I would go into, another like makeup artist or body painter or, like drag queens stream. And I'd just be like, hey, how's it going? They're like, oh, I know who you are. Like I heard somebody talking about you. You did this like crazy makeup on your stream. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that's me.
You did this on stream.
I did do this one on stream.
I wasn't there for that. It was probably before I knew you.
I think we were. I think we knew of each other because of that mutual streamer friend. But I don't think we had actually had like any like serious interactions with one another.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this one was a lot. Of fun.
I'm assuming there's a prosthetic on your forehead. And that's not just shaped with makeup. Okay.
That one I did make. So I actually made that one on stream. That one is built up with latex and my goodness, my mind is blinking. Scar wax. Scar wax is like a really malleable wax that you can use that kind of sticks to the skin. You got to glue it down also, but it kind of sticks to the skin and then you can kind of form it and shape it in whatever design you want and kind of create negative space. So that's what I did. I kind of like formed the wax to make the cross and kind of blended it out. And then I took the latex to blend it out into the natural skin so it looks more, like it's actually protruding out of the skin. And then there's special effects products that you can use. It's just called fake blood, but it's like a gel consistency. So it looks like, like if you were to peel skin and you have raw tissue underneath to give it that like glossy, shiny kind of texture to it. And then the teeth are not special effects either. The teeth are actually blacked out. I used special effects paint for that. There is a very specific paint that you need to use that is non-toxic and safe to put into your mouth.
Did you hear that, guys? Don't use just any old paint from the dollar store for Halloween.
No, please don't. Even if you're trying to use like body paint is obviously non-toxic and it's safe, but body paint is also not meant to be ingested. I'm
probably not going to stay put.
No, like you could probably get it to kind of stick to like your gums, but no, that's not safe. I wouldn't do that. There's a very particular technique and process that goes into doing that. So yeah, please only use professional products when doing things like that.
Yes. Sometimes you can fake it and sometimes you got to use the right stuff, and it's safety, right? Is the big.
Please, I don't want to hear anybody going out there with a Sharpie marker trying to black out their teeth. Oh, listen, we joke and we think it's funny. We think it's funny because of common sense. I have seen tutorials on social media of people doing body paint with like acrylic and latex paints that you would use to paint on a canvas. No, that is a huge no. Like, please do not do that to your body. Like, those paints are toxic. Will sit on your skin. They will absorb into your pores. You do not need those chemicals in your body. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
At all.
You know what? Sometimes we need a PSA on this show, and that's ours today. I sometimes get into it. Fantastic. All right. He's watching it on stream, so I got to give him 6 seconds or 7 seconds to see them.
That one's a lot of fun. That one I did for St. Patrick's Day. That was on a whim. I really had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I was kind of like up in between, like, do I want to do like glam special effects or like glam makeup, or do I want to do like something special effects? And I think at this point in time, I was like, it's been a while. I was like, I don't think I've actually done anything special effects. So I was like, let's do something crazy. So I was like everybody always does, like the green bow tie or the green suspenders or, or like a green eyeshadow or green lipstick or something. And I was just like, no, I was like, you know what? I was like, what if we did that scene from Leprechaun the movie where his pot of gold explodes and he gets the gold blown at him? That's what I did. So I was like, okay, that again, that's a partial piece. It's a foam piece. So that one actually goes around the face like a mask. So it's not my entire forehead. It goes around the whole eye area. And then it's the bridge of the nose. That one I had to modify a little bit. That one is actually a werewolf face piece.
There you go.
And I kind of took it and it was bigger. So like it had like really high cheekbones because it was supposed to be a werewolf. So it had like really high cheekbones. And I think it came down like further almost to the neck. So it was like this whole area. And then it had like pieces that came down this way to kind of give you more of like a dog look to your face. So I kind of cut around it and kind of blended out the edges a little bit just to make it like an eye mask and then the nose. And then I actually went to the dollar store and those suspenders and then those gold coins actually came from a dollar store because I was just like it was last minute, and again I was like I have no idea where I'm gonna I don't know I was like we're gonna be on stream and we're gonna see where it goes. It's either gonna be fantastic or it's gonna be absolutely terrible, and it came out great. I actually really like it. So I blended out like the burn marks around where like the gold hit the skin. So that's also not Photoshop. That is actual practical effects when it comes to the makeup, building up a bruise and like a kind of like a burn mark onto the skin.
Yeah, it looks scorched.
And then actually like embedding the gold coin. I think I cut the coins a little bit to make them a little flat so they would sit a little bit easier. But again, using like special glues to affix in here to the face and, building up with some latex so it looks like it's stuck in the skin.
Yeah. You use the dollar store for the props, not the products.
100%. Props don't have to be expensive either.
I want to know about this one. I was curious about this one. I was actually curious about if there's a filter on that.
Nope.
Okay, y'all. Were you fooled? Did you think there was a filter on there?
There was no filter.
I've seen you do some looks a little like this. So I think there's another one coming up, actually. So I knew it was possible there was no filter.
There was no filter on that one. The same thing with the horns. I actually got for the face as well, but people were asking me if the horns were like an Instagram filter for the horns. No, they're
within reach.
They're within reach. They're real horns. They're like little gold horns. Again, my friend Vampire Kitten, she makes these. So she made me some products and then sent them my way. And I was like, oh, you know what? I was like, I really wanted to do something. I want to say this was Halloween this year. There was a trend that was going around. There were two trends that were going around earlier. Like right before Halloween, people were starting to do pop art photos, like the old classic styled vinyl kind of looking cartoon where it's like the half face is painted and it's like all real white with like the white or the red dots all over.
Archie comic style.
Yes, Archie comic style, 100% that Archie comic style. Where people were doing like devil makeup for Halloween. So I was like, I'm gonna do both. I was like, that would actually be really cool. One of my favorite influencers was doing like devil makeup, and she's not a body painter. Like she just does like glamour makeup. She had a sponsored ad from a company that was a body paint company. So she was just like, I've never done this before. Like, we're going to do it. So I was watching her do it. And I was just like, I kind of took some cues from her. I've done body paint before. And I was just like, okay, well, she's doing this wrong, but it's A for effort. Like she's really going for it. Like she's really going for it. And I was like, I think I can do better. And I did.
Yes. Now, see, to me, this is like AHA made a video, like 0.2. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't, Google the Take On Me video from Aha. It was very influential in the 80s because I'm that old. But it has that look to it. Like now there was a second part to it, and they went and visited the devil, and things went from there. But there's no filters and there's no Photoshop in this. This was your makeup.
It was my makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Good makeup, good body paint, and good lighting is everything. If you've got a good camera, you've got the right kind of lighting, and you could just get it to hit the angle just right. Like you can make stuff like this. I know a lot of people are just like, that like want to do social media content, and they're just like, I don't have the right tools for it. Listen, I don't have a super expensive camera. It was actually shot on my phone. I took this picture on my phone. I waited until the light from my window was coming in just right. I do have some studio lights because I'm a streamer as well, so I do have some studio lights set up. So I was like, I know what time of day the lighting is coming in just right, and I can set up my lights for it, and I can angle my camera just right to get that perfect sheen on the makeup to make it just pop.
Yeah.
It came out fantastic. The only thing that I think I would redo is I might tone down the lip a little bit or reshape it. Other than that, I love the way that this came out. I don't know. It's just the artist in me, like that nitpicky thing where I'm just like, maybe I would redo the lip somehow. But yeah, this actually, I really loved it. I think it came out fantastic.
You should make a filter for people.
Oh, that's a really good idea. Look at you, marketing genius.
You know what? If I had more talent to go behind this, I'd be pretty good. I'm sometimes a little bit momager. I'm like, honey, let the people see you. It's fantastic. Trust me on this. But yeah, I that's the one I was really curious about as I was going through them. I was like, is there anything else going on there? Yeah.
No, that's me. And body painting is it's something that I really love to do. And I don't do it that often on stream. You guys only see me get to do body painting like every once in a while. I don't know why. I don't know.
You've been very drag inspired lately, I think.
Have and I think my push for it, especially this year, I think my push for it is I really wanted, not that I'm trying to fit into like a niche where it's just like, it's really popular and that's what people really like. You can look at the pictures that I've posted like when I first really started doing like drag inspired looks on myself versus like what I'm capable of doing now when it comes to like those really blown out glam looks. There is definitely like a glow up, and I'm like, I want to hone my skills, and I really want to get like that for me like perfect, where I'm just like, like in a drop of a hat, I could paint it and I could do it and I'm good to go and I don't have to worry about it or second guess myself. And I feel like I'm really at that point right now where I'm just like, no, like I know what works for my face. I know what does not work for me, like what is in my skill range, what I just don't like in general. So like, I think it's just like, I go through those like stages where I'm just like, I really, really, really like this. So I'm stuck on this because I want to perfect it as much as I possibly can. So hopefully I'll move away from that and get more into the body paint stuff because I really like the body paint.
Maybe we'll try and nudge you. The nice thing about Monarch Stream is stream points can be used to do things like pick colors. I mean, maybe we could be like, or
maybe we should move into some body paint.
Yeah, let's do it. I think I was there for the start of this one, actually. This is really video game inspired, wasn't it?
This one is anime inspired.
Thank you.
This is from Tokyo Ghoul, which is one of my favorite animes, again, because I love horror. So this is one of the main characters, Ken. And when he becomes a ghoul, he has a mask made to hide his regular eye, his human eye, because he's a hybrid. He's half human, half ghoul. So his mask hides his human eye. So when he's out with all the other ghouls, his red eye, his ghoul eye is out. And his face mask is actually like a zipper, so he can zip it closed and open it, and he has that giant grin. This is also body paint. I had so much fun doing this one. This one was I loved it. I absolutely loved it, especially because it's anime, it's cosplay, it's also horror. Like, I had a ton of fun doing this one.
Absolutely.
Really
I get it. I find it interesting that all that, like, I think sometimes we think of makeup artists, especially the professionals we see or the people that you start to see get a name, they have a name for doing kind of one thing. And so it's always interesting to me to see the breadth of what you're interested in and what kind of looks you're wanting to create. And what kind of skill, like what kind of work you've done too, is very widely ranged.
And I really do take pride in that. I was actually talking to somebody not too long ago, and I was, talking about some of my accomplishments and like things that I was doing, and I was like introverted part of me was kind of coming out, where I was kind of like pulling back and starting to shy away from it. And I was like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm not trying to blow myself up. I'm not trying to make myself sound like super amazing. And she stopped me and she was like, well, no, like if you don't talk about achievements and the cool things that you can do, she was like, who's going to do it for you? She was like, like, you don't have a cheerleader behind you that's just like, yeah, they're awesome. And I was like, oh, you know what? I guess that's true. And I was like, I don't know. I was just wanted to be a little bit more on the humble side. And she was just like, no, like if you've done cool shit and you are fantastic and talented, by all means, like bolster yourself, talk about it.
I have a whole Twitch show asking people to talk about their art and creations. I find the process is fascinating. I love watching art streams and music streams and makeup streams. And it's not something I ever imagined myself doing or I'm really interested in doing myself. But I find that creative process really fascinating. And part of the show is to really highlight the cool stuff people are doing. I literally have a whole show about, hey, what are people doing? So you got to brag when you're here. You definitely have to. It's an important part of it. That's why we're here.
True. Very true.
Fantastic.
Very true.
All right. I had never seen this one. I really like that.
That one's really cool too. That one, I feel like I need to redo that one also. It's that artist part of you where you're just like, yeah, it's good, but I could touch it up a little bit. I could go back and make that
so
better.
Here's the thing. We talked about Tree Frog PSA here, but really, and I've talked a little bit about art and my theory on it, but the other thing that I really want to talk about is it depends on what your art is for, but sometimes you have to, I encourage artists to really look at the enjoyment other people are getting from their art and use their eyes a little bit to see it. Because the reality is you're seeing that and I'm like, wow, that's so beautiful. My emote artist, I have some of my favorite emotes in the whole world on my personal channel. I have a whole set of little frogs that I just love, and people love them. People know me for them. People talk about them. The artist struggles. He sees everything he wishes he could do differently. And so I'm like, well, try and remember other people, like try and use their eyes for a little bit. So if you use my eyes, you don't need to redo that. It's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, well, especially talking about emotes, I absolutely love your little frog emotes. You have such a wide range and they are so cute.
This is the one we probably need to put on here right now. This one belongs right now. Where is it?
Everybody in chat, spam your favorite emotes.
There it is. Yes. That is a thing.
I have my little devil emotes and I love them. Absolutely love them.
I love them too. I do too. So definitely important to remember that part of art is for you and part of it is for those of us who get to enjoy it.
That's also true. That is also true.
Yeah.
This particular look, I don't think this was a Halloween look either. I think I just did it just to do it. Mm-hmm. Just for fun. This was this was right around the time the whole I don't know if you've seen the TV show, but the TV show Euphoria, where that whole craze was kind of really starting to bud. And that TV show alone is fantastic for its makeup artistry because it is one of the only TV shows to actually depict makeup styles in a realistic and practical sense. Meaning it wasn't a producer that was like, these characters need to look this way. This is the vision I have in my head of the way the characters need to be portrayed and look. I need you to paint that. They gave that makeup artist full range to do the makeup for these teenage characters. And she did makeup exactly the way teenagers do their makeup in real life.
Which isn't always the most tasteful.
Well, and it was really cool for that younger audience who they were trying to bring in with this show in particular. They wanted that Generation Z to millennial age range to be like, yeah, this TV show's cool. And then depicting people like going to parties, going to raves, having like these cool events, or going to prom, or going to like a school dance, but doing makeup, which is currently fashionable, which is completely different from like those Instagram looks that you see, where it is very soft, simple makeup, like that 80s touch to it, where it's natural beauty, just soft, simple makeup to accentuate the skin, to make it look healthy, to make it look glowing. I'm not blending out 6 or 7 different eyeshadows to create this beautiful peacock effect. I'm not doing a cut crease on the eye. Natural, fluffy eyebrows just kind of filled in, again, accentuating natural beauty. More of a nude lipstick with a healthy amount of gloss, not over gloss to make them look like candy, and a lot of highlighter, glitter, rhinestones, little like pearl adornments, things like that, like to kind of accent around the face, like around the eye area. That's what's fashionable. Like that's what the younger kids.
I think it's influenced by piercings.
What was that? Sorry.
I think it's influenced by piercings, right? The mini implants that people would get,
the dermal implants that people would get. Yeah, 100%. And things aren't like super duper popular right now. Like some people still get like the little nose piercing, or like the bull ring, or your ears pierced. But yeah, like those type of body modifications, like to get like the dermal plants, or to get the underskin like little adornments and stuff like that. It's not really popular. Kids aren't like really piercing their tongues. They're not getting the eyebrow rings. They're not getting the lip rings really anymore. It's minimal. It's like, like how can I be edgy, but in a real like minimalistic kind of way.
Or tattoos.
I feel like that's still kind of like, tattoos are definitely way more acceptable than they used to be. Like when I first started getting tattoos, it was just like, oh my God, you're getting tattoos. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to get all the tattoos. And then I got my neck completely tattooed. And everybody was just like, however will you find a job if you have a giant tattoo on your neck? And I'm just like, well, I don't know, but I did, and I'm making money. So,
yep. All of mine are, you guys have never seen them on stream. All of mine are coverable, in part because of my industry, and in part because of my age in the industry. We hire lots of younger people who have tattoos and piercings and all kinds of things. But even one day I was talking to my supervisor about a forearm tattoo, and she was like, really? And I was like, really? That was my manager. I was a supervisor at the time in my field. And it was like, And I'm like, well, half these kids have them that we hired.
It's also one of those things where it's, especially if you're talking to somebody who is in your age range, and then getting their opinion about it, and they're just, you know what I mean, where they're just like, oh, well, I don't know, that's for the kids, that's a little more on the youthful side. And I'm just like, you could be 60 years old and you're just like, I've never had a tattoo before and I really want to go get one.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law, for instance, she's in her late 50s and has never had a tattoo in her entire life until like last year. Husbando and I took her to go get her first tattoo, and it was a forearm tattoo. She got a big old tattoo right here in her forearm.
Yes. My frog tattoo is now 10 years old. I got it for my 33rd birthday, and my mom took me to get it.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I used to use that frog, actually the picture it was based on, for a lot of, but it was royalty free photo I found online, or at least it said it was royalty free. Hopefully it was, but so I used it for a lot of things for a while until I got my own custom artwork. It used to be like my little Discord, icon and that kind of stuff. But
that's cute.
And it was a lot of fun. But it's always interesting to see the artwork people choose from their bodies. I I have a frog. I don't have like a frog with flowers and palm trees and and even the artist is like, do you just not want me to make like, and I was like, no, I don't want you to make that actually. My other side, I have a peacock feather. And they're like, a peacock feather? And I'm like, yeah, a peacock feather. And she's like, okay, you don't want me? No, I don't want a bunch of other stuff, but thank you. So it's always interesting to see what people choose.
Totally understand. Well, especially my brother's a tattoo artist, and one of the shops that he used to work at, I worked at one of those shops, and I'm not a tattoo artist. I'm not an artist in that level, but I used to do like front end for them, so like answering phones, booking appointments, taking payments, cleaning the shop, assisting customers coming in and out and stuff like that, helping set up for like their tattoo appointments and all that other good stuff. So like front end management kind of stuff, like just working on doing all of that. But yeah, like listening to people, like, what their expectations are, like what it is that they're looking for, like even when it comes to body art and things like that. And like people would come in and be like, well, what do you think? My opinion does not matter. Like this is going on your body. Like, look, I have no personal connection to the image that you want tattooed forever on your body. So asking me if I think it's cool means absolutely nothing, because as soon as you leave this tattoo shop, I'm probably never going to see you again. So
yeah.
Do whatever you want, as long as it means something to you. It doesn't even have to mean anything. Especially when you get to like the level of tattoo that I am, where like, I have full sleeves, my neck is tattooed, like my chest, my shoulders, my back, sides, legs. Once you get to like that level of being tattooed, it's always funny because people are like, so like every tattoo has like a story or a meaning behind it. And I'm like, no, not at all. No, like there's some stuff where I was just like, that looks really cool, and it would match some of the other stuff that I've got going on. So why don't we put that bad boy right there? But I'm like, no, like there's no story behind it. Like I liked the artist's work that did it. I thought their work was really pretty, so I wanted them to do a piece on me. I already had other tattoos that were kind of like starting to form a little theme of everything that was going on. So, and you just kind of collaborate. It's just like, oh, I want this. Like I found this, and let's do this. Let's slap that on. And yeah, that's it. And I'm just like, no, I just think it looks cool. Other than that, I'm like, that's the story behind it. It just looks cool.
You can only have so many stories. I only have 3 tattoos. They all have a big, long story if anyone ever wants to hear them. But it's 3 tattoos. And you're always punning the next one. I'm probably the first handful of tattoos that I have, like the first like 5, maybe 6. I don't know. There's a lot. I don't have a count of exactly how many. But yeah, like the first few tattoos definitely have like stories behind them where I was just like, yeah, like, it has a personal meaning to me. And that's the reason why I want to get it. Then after that, it's just once you get the bug and you're really starting like to get heavily tattooed, it's just kind of downhill from there. And you're just like, slap them on like stickers. I just want them all over. Yes. I see you did the Grinch.
I did. I get requests from, and this is not a negative thing, but I do get requests in chat and from community members because they see like the beauty trends that are happening on social media. And this was right around Christmas time, and Nikki Tutorials. If anybody who doesn't know who Nikki is, she's a quite famous makeup artist on social media, on Instagram and on Twitter. She did a Grinch look for Christmas, and this was Christmas last year. And I think I got a request for it. Somebody was like, oh, like, have you ever done the Grinch? And I was like, no, I've actually never done that before. Again, this is kind of a mix. It's body paint and regular makeup. Kind of mixed in together. And yeah, so I was like, okay, so like I watched her little tutorial video of like the Grinch that she did, and I was just like, okay, I was like, I was like, I could do this. And hers was not body paint, like hers was just like all makeup. And I was like, I'm gonna go more on like the body paint side and actually like paint my whole face green. I'm not gonna just use like eyeshadows to kind of blend it in. Like I'll actually do some greens and yellows to give some contrast to it. And then the black accents like on the cheek are more body paint, and then I did like eyeshadow, like black eyeshadow to kind of blend and smudge everything out for the lines across the face. Right. But yeah, like this was actually like one of those like beauty challenges where everybody was just like, oh, like I want to see you like try and recreate a look. So I was like, okay, fine. I try to avoid those, but I was like,
I do it too sometimes.
Which is fine, which is totally fine. I get it. And even when I do, like, I try to put my own spin on it. Like, if you were to look at this particular picture and then compare it to the one that like Nikki Tutorials did, they do not. I mean, other than them being the Grinch, it's not like I took her exact work and copied it. Like, I tried to tweak it and turn it, and especially like with the eyeshadow, kind of like blending it out to make it look a little bit more like hair. I did the brows differently, and I followed like my natural creases on like my forehead lines, like where to place things to kind of give it a little bit more like texture and dimension to it. Yeah, like I feel like that's why I try to avoid like some of those like beauty challenges, because I'm just like, I don't want to unintentionally like exactly copy somebody's work, because sometimes you get caught up in it and you're like using a photo for reference and you're just like, and you look at it and you're just like, oh, I just did exactly the same thing that they did, and now it's not like originally my work.
But I'm imagining in the professional world, that's actually a good skill to have. I mean, if you're going to do whatever makeup on whatever show, and they're like, hey, this character has this kind of makeup, you need to make that kind of makeup happen. So I get that. It can happen. See, this is the one I was talking about where I knew that you had done some of this kind of illustrative look.
Yeah, this one's really cool. And this one is also like kind of special for me because this is not inspired by anything. This isn't like a beauty trend that was happening. I guess the inspiration that I would take from this would be like a balloon, to be perfectly honest. Like a balloon, or like if you went to like the county fair and like those little like plastic squeaky, like, I don't know, like little blow up doll things that you get, like that kind of concept to go into this, where I wanted to look like plastic. Like I wanted to look like plastic and shiny, and I wanted to have like, yeah, like I wanted to go like, in my head I was like, I want to take a mod approach when it comes to makeup. Like, how can I make an illustrative look like kind of like three-dimensionally pop? And I was like, that was it. And I had no direction. I had no frame of reference. I didn't have a picture on my phone pulled up. Like I wasn't referencing anything. I literally was just like, okay, stream, we're going to do something different. I have an idea, an image in my head, and we're going to see if it works.
So that is actually something I wanted to ask you. Have any of them not turned out how you imagined?
Oh, 100% yes. Fortunately, there are way more looks that have been good. On stream, 3 times. There's been 3 times where I was like, I have no direction, I have no idea. It's like kind of an unscheduled makeup where I was just like, yeah, like I kind of just feel like doing makeup. Like I don't have a game that's like, calling my name or like itching me to play at the moment, like where I'm just like, oh, I got to get back in there. So I was, it's just like, let's do makeup, let's kill some time, let's, throw it into just chatting and have everybody hang out, and let's all just talk and like do some cool stuff, which I love doing, because every makeup artist should practice at some point in time. And I don't think that it should be taken negatively either. I know, again, a lot of like makeup artists and beauty gurus will not do that like publicly, where they're like doing like a practice where it's just like, oh, this is going to turn out bad. And I don't want everybody to think that I'm a bad makeup artist. Like, but it happens. It happens to everybody. Even the most popular makeup artist, the most fashionable, the most talked about makeup artist, practice something at some point in time and just be like, oh, this is bad, and wipe it all off and start over again. That's how you learn from your mistakes. That's how you learn, practice, and hone techniques. But there's been a few times where I was like, doing something, and I was like, like I know how to do this like in a body paint kind of aspect, and I also know how to do this in like a glamour kind of drag aspect. And I'm like, I wonder if I could kind of combine those two together, maybe make my own technique, see if it turns out. Oh no, just turned out terrible, turned into a giant mess. And it was, okay, by the time we were done with stream, it's just, my face was just a giant mess, and it was just a modge podge of different things where it was like, I have like these drag eyebrows on with like this crazy weird body paint and some special effects sticking out. And it was just, it wasn't everything blending cohesively together, where it was like, it looked like I did different techniques and you can clearly see that they are not working. Okay, we're going to wipe all of that off, pretend this didn't happen, go into a video game and just hang out.
Yeah. I mean, I spend most of my streaming doing things I'm bad at in front of other people. It's like my little it's a little self-growth for me, for someone who, in my professional field, I'm very competent and very sought after, and people really respect my opinion on a large and a fairly, it's a small field, but on a provincial level, and so I spend my time on stream playing video games, which I'm terrible at, and learning to stream like this, which has been an interesting little thing. And, so I get that. I think it makes people more human when those things happen. Sometimes things happen.
Sure. I always joke that I'm the best, worst Dead by Daylight player. I love playing Dead by Daylight, and we play it a lot. Just one of my go-to games. Like, I just have a lot of fun playing it, and it's not that I'm trying to be like a Dead by Daylight main on stream. We do play other games as well. That just happens to be like my default because I really enjoy playing it. And I think a lot of chat like really gets into it. It's also one of those games where can kind of half pay attention to like what's going on. You don't have to be like glued to the screen to be like, oh my God, like if I missed, this part in the story, then I'm not going to know anything that's going on throughout the gameplay. Like, no, it's a survival horror game and I'm running from the killer. It's the same concept every match. It's just different characters. And obviously I'm playing against a different skill set each time because I'm playing against a new opponent. But other than that, yeah, like I have fun with it. Yeah. Like I'm the best at being the worst, and I don't take it serious.
I have played Dead by Daylight on stream a few times, and I do the exact same thing. This is going to sound like a really funny connection, but it's the exact same thing I do when I play Animal Crossing. So the second I am doing a skill check comes up, silence until it's done. I cannot talk through it. I also can't talk and fish in Animal Crossing. The second I do my thing, and I'll stop mid-sentence. My son pointed this out to me. I will stop mid-sentence and pick up again as soon as I'm done. But there's like this boop. I can't talk and do this at the same time. It's not going to work.
Listen, your concentration, it's got to be, you're like, I know I have to concentrate on this. Otherwise, I'm going to totally mess it up.
I actually didn't even know I was doing it. My son's like, there's like this pause, and he's like, you do it during Dead by Daylight too. I was like, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know I did that. And then there's a couple more photos. Sorry, this fits really well with what we're talking about, actually.
Yeah, it really does.
New Dead by Daylight character.
Definitely a good creepy clown. I love this one. This one is also not this one's not special effects. This one is body paint and makeup as well. There is a really popular UK brand of makeup that is kind of recently getting a lot of attention here in the United States, and I wanted to try it out. So I ended up, again, this is not sponsored. I'm not going to say the brand of makeup because it's not a sponsored ad. But I ended up getting my hands on some of it, and I wanted to play around with it. I wanted to see what it could do. This particular type of product is from an everyday beauty brand that had branched out into like body paint kind of makeup. So it was like something newer for them where they were just like super high pigmented, but like consistency is supposed to be like the consistency of like regular makeup, but really high pigmented to give you good volume like a body paint. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. Let's try it out and see how it goes. And I did this again. I didn't have any frame of reference for this one. I wasn't planning on doing a clown. I really don't like clowns. I'm not like, I don't have a phobia of clowns. I just don't like them. I don't think they're cute. I just think they're ugly. I just think clowns are ugly. So I did this, and it turned into a clown. I don't know how or why, but it turned into a clown. And I originally went in to do a skull, and that's where the teeth were coming from. I wanted to do a really like abstract look for a skull, like almost like a sugar skull. But I wanted to do horror related teeth. So something that you would kind of see done for like, if you've ever gone to like an amusement park for Halloween, kind of makeup that they do on those actors, like the scare actors that pop out at you, is also a different type of makeup. Like that's its own set of makeup. Like that's not something that you would see in like a movie, because it falls in this like weird category of theater overly dramatized body paint. And it doesn't translate very well on film.
Right.
It can translate like in photos, but also like the setting and the lighting has to be very particular for it. Otherwise, it just looks dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything is so like detailed to fit like really dim lighting and like foggy atmosphere, like strobe lights flashing at you. So like that skill set of makeup is like, we call it haunt makeup, and it's its own skill set. Like so that's somewhere different. And somebody was asking me if I do haunt makeup, and I was like, I do horror makeup, but I don't actually do haunt style makeup for like those character actors. So that was kind of like a challenge for me, where I was like, okay, so I wanted to do like originally wanted to do a skull, but I want to do like, I don't know, like I wanted the teeth to kind of flow like almost like a grinning smile, like a Cheshire cat kind of grinning smile. Somehow the skull ended up turning into a clown.
I mean, that's part of the artistic process, right? Definitely part of it. I think I have one more. This is like I see the fangs, but then I'm like, but it's kind of a happy clown.
This one's super cute. I love this one. This is also genuinely like if somebody were to ask me, like, if you could choose like a set of photos that like speak about you, like as a makeup artist or your personality coming through your makeup, this would be like one of the number one photos that I would choose. Mm-hmm. It is definitely like kawaii inspired vampire. Lips are also half and half. The lips are body paint and actual lipstick. And those are fangs on the bottom lip. So the fangs are actually drawn in with they're painted on with body paint, white body paint. The accent, like the outline of the actual lip and the accents, and there's actually a little bit of like a very light brown eyeshadow that goes right underneath the lip. So if you look at it real closely, it kind of looks like the lips are actually like lifting off of my face. Like I have like these lips that kind of protrude from my natural skin. And then there's like the little blood drops that are coming down. So I did like the kawaii inspired like eyebrows that are kind of like I don't know, like little quotation, kind of like little quotation marks that sit on the forehead. The real bubbly cheeks, no eyebrows. Well, I mean, I guess those are kind of eyebrows, but not really an eyebrow, just kind of just painted on there for decoration. But yeah, it's like a fun, happy vampire.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing too. I was like, this looks very happy.
I'm gonna bite you and I'm gonna drink your blood, but you're gonna be like, but it's so cute.
But we like you.
We like you. It's cute.
Because it takes a moment, I'm gonna ask Chad if they have any questions for you. We've been referencing your stream the whole time. If someone could pull up !socials in chat, that would be really appreciated. I think that's the command, and it'll take you to so you can follow Monarch in different places, including his stream. That's how I found him. And you can go in there, or if there's guys here who aren't maybe interested in makeup for themselves, although maybe a little bit on stream won't hurt you. You told me that you do some makeup on stream for other people sometimes, for other people's streams.
I do. Let me touch on that point really quick about not being afraid, even for those male viewers that are out there. Don't be afraid to do a little bit of a touch-up when it comes to makeup, especially if you're a streamer or plan on streaming or want to like put yourself on social media. You do not need to be a makeup artist. 100%. You do not need to be a makeup artist take a little bit of foundation and just kind of like dab, dab, dab. And you don't even need a brush. You could use your fingers, kind of just buff it around a little bit, even out your skin. You don't need lip gloss, but use like a lip moisturizer. Your lips probably look real dry on stream. The camera takes away, especially if you have lighting and you have like an HD camera, it can wash out a lot of color in your face and you end up looking really pale, or your lips end up matching your skin tone, which again washes all the color out. Even just like a little bit of blush right on the cheek, just to add a little bit of color so you can see the definition. You don't have to go in there and do your brows, put mascara on and do a full face of contour and foundation and do like a crazy lipstick. You don't have to do that. Like natural everyday beauty is very simple and very achievable. And I've actually done that before on stream for my male viewers that have asked me that, like, like I'm going to start streaming and like I either get like really shiny and the light hits weird and I'm like literally blinding people and I got to like close blinds and turn off lights or rearrange how the lighting is hitting me because I'm too glossy and I'm too shiny. Okay, like you don't have to do anything crazy. Like just get like a pressed powder that matches your skin tone. Kind of go over there and dust it a little bit, kind of pick up the oil, so that way you look a little more matte. You're not quite as shiny. Little things. Like there's little things that you can do. And I get asked the question, well, I don't really wear makeup, like I'll let my girlfriend know, or, I have a friend that's really into makeup, so like, I'm probably not going to come by your stream, but, like I'll pass your name along so that way people that are interested in makeup can come along. Listen. You don't have to be into makeup. I talk about the craziest, most random things in the world. And my stats are usually pretty split. Like I actually have a pretty even amount of male viewers and female viewers, whether they're coming in for makeup or they're just coming in for gameplay or they're just coming to hang out. Especially because I'm in Los Angeles, so I'm Pacific Standard Time, and my streams are usually early afternoon into the later evening. So I'm usually that streamer you have on in the background that you're just listening to.
While I'm cooking supper, Monarch. While I'm cooking supper. And I'm like, totally that's why I keep saying, I saw the beginning of this one and I saw the beginning of that one too.
Which is totally fine. That's totally fine. Just come in and hang out. I love the tip about even using just foundation. Yeah, just using a little bit of foundation or even a concealer under your eye. Everybody has hereditary darkness under the eye. It's different on different levels for everybody. Sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's green. For some people, it's extremely dark. For some people, it's just really fair. Sometimes, we have puffiness that goes under eye. Just a little bit of something, again, like lighting usually comes from above, and the way that it hits your brow bone casts a little bit of a shadow right over your eyes, which darkens everything. So you can see kind of right now, like if I were to do this with my hands, it almost makes it look like I'm drooping under eye. Like you can kind of see a little bit of a darkness, and like it makes it look like I have a circle or an indentation under my eye. If I remove my hands and that shadow is no longer there, it looks brighter. It looks more awake. I don't look like I have dark circles. I don't look like I have bags under my eye. Well, I have a little bit of concealer under my eye right now. And the way my light is hitting from above, it's blocking that shadow from being cast there. So I look fresh. I look awake. I look like I'm ready to go. It helps engage your audience because your audience going to be like, oh wow, like you look really good, like I want to come in here, I want to chat, I want to talk to you. So yeah, you don't have to totally paint your face and go all crazy. Just a little bit of touch up's kind of cool.
Yeah. And Husbando is just saying does not wear makeup, but does use some like concealer, and it does wonders on Zoom calls and things.
Very true. Husbando does not wear makeup at all. And we were going to do some anniversary photos a few years ago. And I was like, obviously for the photos, I was like, we're going to be wearing makeup. And he was just like, no, like I'm fine. And I was like, no. I was like, she's going to be shooting with an HD camera and everything will show. And I was like, she doesn't Photoshop either. So I was like, no, like we're going to wear, so we did, we went shopping and we got him like a very, very light tinted. Actually, what he wears is more of like a tinted moisturizer, which is perfect for everyday use because you don't need a technique in order to apply it or use it. Literally just kind of pat it on around your face to even out your skin tone, and then kind of a little bit of concealer under the eye. You're good. Like your skin tone is perfect and even. So like even husbando does not wear makeup and he does telecommuting for work. So, when he's got like a bigger meeting or, meet with the boss or something like that, definitely want to look fresh and awake.
So for those who don't know, and maybe many people have never seen me, I actually have the world's whitest eyebrows and actually lashes too. You can't even see I have lashes. I have trouble with allergies, so I don't put mascara on, but I do put Anastasia gel on my eyebrows. And having gone virtual, I have my work laptop here, so I insist on tapping it to show you. I don't know why. When I don't put it on, I'm like, ooh, like it's weird not to have eyebrows. It's not a good look. And I get to see that.
It's totally different. Husbando, my mother-in-law, husbando's mom, she just recently got married, and same thing. She's very fair, and then she has very naturally very chestnut light hair, and her eyebrows are so blonde that it looks like she has no eyebrows. So when I was doing her makeup, that was like the first thing that everybody commented there. Oh my God, she has eyebrows. I was like, she has hair. I was like, it's not bald. I was like, she has hair there. It's just so blonde. You can't see them.
People will be like, did you get a haircut? Did you lose some weight? I'm like, I just got eyebrows. That's all.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that losing weight one. Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. I got eyebrows. So you have done makeup for some other people for their streams.
Yes. There is Critical Role, which is a popular stream here on Twitch, where they do tabletop gaming with some pretty popular people who are voice actors for some pretty popular video games. At some point in time, I'm sure some of you have either seen an advertisement for Critical Role, or you've watched a stream from Critical Role, or you have heard their voice and you're like, that sounds really familiar. I'm pretty sure that comes from a video game. They have a studio here in Burbank, California, which is not too far from where I live. And I have a friend who is a producer there. And as a freelance artist, every once in a while, I get called in to go and kind of help them out. Again, we've got guys on stream and we've got ladies on stream as well, playing these tabletop games. And it's literally just going in for tabletop everyday makeup, just to make sure that they're camera ready. And the exact same things that I just pointed out, like very, very, very light, like maybe like a tinted moisturizer. Some of them have kids and they have late nights with their kids. So they come in and maybe they're a little tired under the eye. So maybe a little bit of concealer under the eye to kind of pick it up. Same thing, maybe their brows are a little bit more on the blonde side, and then having studio lighting and then being on film washes all the color out of your face. So let's pick up the brows a little bit, just maybe a little bit of mascara. Again, like a lip moisturizer to help bring some color and some life back into the lip. Like if you've ever seen any of their streams, they're not there with like crazy caked on glamour makeup. Like, no, it's very light, very natural, to give the illusion of I'm not wearing any makeup. I just look fresh and well put together. I just look good. That's the magic of Hollywood.
Let's say that. So that got, apparently Critical Role got, some people know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about too, but that's because we have a D&D stream. We have a D&D stream here on Twitch. And so I was looking for some other D&D streams one day, and they pop up pretty regularly. It's kind of the one that shows up. So
yeah, they show up a lot.
They definitely do.
Right. Matt Mercer's your man crush. Yeah, Matt Mercer's he's a really cool guy. Really, it's fun being on set because they're voice actors and they're hilarious. It's great. Even if you're not having a conversation with them, like one of those things where you're just like sitting back and watching them all interact with each other, and you're just like, wow, this is a show in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Boktai, can you give Monarch's info in chat so that people can go follow him? check him out for the makeup. Makeup is kind of, it's usually a once a week thing, really. And the other streams are kind of more game based.
Sure,
and
100.
their media, that's what it's under. Good thing my mods know what the commands are.
Mods are for.
That's what they're for.
Listen, I do the same thing. I create stuff all the time, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's in there somewhere. I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of clowns, so on that note, I think we should wrap up. We should probably go find someone. To raid. And thank you so much, Monarch. I didn't see any more questions in chat anyway. But thank you so much for being here and sharing all your experience with us. I've always been kind of curious a little bit more about the world you inhabit and what it's like. And thank you, Husbando, for that follow. We appreciate it. And
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for letting me talk. It was fantastic getting to know you and your community. You guys are awesome.
We had a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun and a world I don't know much about. So it's always interesting for me to kind of head in there and be like, what's this world all about? So on that note,
for sure,
we're definitely going to be going over to raid someone. And we will see you later. We'll head on to the ending screen, and we'll just go raid in just a second.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.